Here's the card. Buy whatever you want. There's 5 million on it. Mom's voice was sweet, too sweet, the way she got when she wanted to look generous. I was standing in the kitchen doorway when I heard it. My brother, Daniel, was grinning like a kid on Christmas morning. He reached for the sleek black card she was holding. My card. My salary card. For a second I thought maybe it was a joke. Then I saw the look in her eyes, calm, certain, deliberate. She wasn't joking. She actually handed my card to him. Don't worry about limits, she said. Your sister's got plenty. The air left my lungs. I couldn't even speak. 4 years I'd been the invisible one. The daughter who worked 2 jobs, who sent money home, who quietly paid for repairs and hospital bills. Daniel. He drifted from scheme to scheme, always landing soft because Mom was there to catch him. But this was new. Later that afternoon I got a call from the dealership. Miss Elena? We just wanted to verify a purchase. A 2024 Mercedes SUV. Full payment, using your card. The floor tilted beneath me. Excuse me. There was a pause and then the salesman said softly, your brother and mother are here right now. There seems to be confusion. Confusion. That was one word for it. When I told him not to process the payment, he hesitated. Then I heard someone in the background, Daniel, saying, she knows. Just swipe it again. That's when the salesman's tone changed. Miss, I think you need to come down here. By the time I arrived, Daniel was red-faced, Mom furious. The salesman held the card like it was radioactive. This card, he said quietly, isn't in his name. Mom turned to me, eyes blazing. Why are you making a scene? You have money. Something inside me snapped. My name is Elena, and from wherever you're watching this, stay with me. Have you ever been treated like a stranger in your own family? That night I couldn't sleep. The dealership scene replayed in my head. The way Daniel's face crumpled when the payment failed, how Mom looked at me like I was the problem. I checked my account. The card had been maxed out earlier that day. Refund pending. Over $50,000 gone in a single attempt. It wasn't the money that hurt. It was the entitlement. I sat on my bed staring at the wall, remembering every moment that led here. Every time I said, don't worry, I've got it. Every time Mom told me, you're doing so well. Daniel just needs a little help. I used to believe family meant sacrifice. But what if sacrifice was just another word for manipulation? The next morning Mom called. You embarrassed us yesterday, she said, her tone clipped. You should have let him buy the car. It's not like you can't afford it. I didn't answer. I just listened, to the sound of her voice, so calm, so sure of her right to spend what wasn't hers. Daniel's going through a hard time, she continued. You should be grateful we raised you right. That word, grateful, felt like poison. When I finally spoke, my voice was steady. You stole from me, Mom. She sighed like I was being dramatic. Oh, stop it. Family doesn't steal from family. No, I thought. But they do betray them. By the end of that week, I'd done something I never thought I would. I froze my family account. Not out of revenge, out of survival. I transferred my savings to a new bank, changed my passwords, updated every automatic payment. Then I called the bank and reported the card as stolen. When they asked who had it last, I said, my mother. They didn't even sound surprised. That evening Mom called again. Daniel says the card doesn't work. Did you mess with something? Yes, I said. I canceled it. Her silence was loud. Then she laughed, bitter and sharp. You're unbelievable. After all we've done for you. I remembered those years working overtime, paying off their debts, sending money home when Daniel crashed another car. Every thank you had come with an expectation. Every favor turned into a leash. Now the leash was gone. When she hung up, I stared at the blank phone screen and realized something. She didn't love me for who I was. She loved me for what I could give. So I decided to stop giving. The next week I drove to the old house. It looked smaller now. Or maybe I'd just outgrown the version of myself that used to stand on that porch, desperate to please. Daniel was there, washing the rental car he'd taken after the dealership fiasco. He looked up when I parked. You made Mom cry, he said flatly. She made me broke. He scoffed. You've got millions, Elena. You're fine. That word again, fine. As if money erased betrayal. Inside, Mom was at the table surrounded by unpaid bills. Why are you doing this? She asked. We're family. Exactly, I said. So why did you give my card to him? She looked at me like I was slow. Because he needed it. I studied her. The same woman who once cried when I got my first paycheck, who said she was proud of me. Now she looked at me like I was the enemy. You're right, I said quietly. He did need it. She frowned. What does that mean? It means you just showed me how little I ever mattered to you. And I walked out, leaving the bills scattered like confessions. After that day I cut contact. No calls. No visits. For the first time in my life, silence didn't feel cruel. It felt earned. But silence has a way of echoing. A week later, Daniel showed up at my apartment. He reeked of beer, his voice slurred. You think you're so perfect. You're nothing without us. Without you? I asked. I built everything in spite of you. He slammed his hand on the table. Mom said you'd help me. You promised. I promised to stop being your safety net. He stared at me like I'd spoken another language. You're cold, he said. You've changed. Maybe I just stopped bleeding for people who keep stabbing. He left after throwing a bottle at the wall. Chattered, sharp, loud, final. That was the night I started planning. Not to hurt them. To free myself. I began gathering everything. Old texts, receipts, transfers, all the quiet financial wounds I'd covered. Then I sat with a lawyer. He didn't ask why. He just listened. You have a case, he said finally. Unauthorized use of funds. Fraud, technically. I didn't want prison. I wanted truth. So instead of suing, I filed a formal financial complaint that would flag Mom's name anytime she tried to open credit under mine. It wasn't revenge, it was protection. Then I wrote her a letter. I'm not your wallet. I'm not your backup plan. I'm your daughter. And you lost me when you handed my worth to someone else. I didn't sign it with love. Just my name, Elena. She came to my office 2 weeks later. Her face was thinner, her voice small. Why did you do this? She asked. Now I can't even apply for a loan. I closed my laptop. Because you used mine without asking. Tears welled in her eyes. I just wanted to help him. You wanted to help the one who doesn't help himself, I said. She reached across the desk. Elena, I made mistakes. I pulled back. No. You made choices. She stood up, shaking. You'll regret this. Maybe. But at least the regret would be mine. When she left, the office felt brighter. Lighter. For the first time, I wasn't the villain in her story. I was the author of my own. Months passed. I moved to a quieter neighborhood closer to the sea. A place where the air felt lighter, where people didn't know my name or my past. My apartment faced the water, and every morning I'd wake to the soft hum of waves against the shore. It wasn't silence exactly, it was gentleness. The kind I'd been missing for years. The first few weeks were strange. I kept expecting my phone to buzz with another crisis, another guilt-drenched demand for help. But the noise faded. Slowly. Like a bad dream dissolving in daylight. Daniel texted once. A short message that said, Mom's not well. I stared at the screen for a long time. My fingers hovered above the keyboard. I could have replied. I could have asked how she was or what she needed. But I didn't. It wasn't anger anymore. Just clarity. I wasn't cruel, I was done. Sometimes I replay that day at the dealership in my mind, like a scene from a film I no longer belong in. My mother smiling, my brother grinning, the salesman frowning when the truth finally cracked through their lie. That moment was more than a scandal. It was a mirror. Because when I looked at them, I saw what my love had been funding all along. A lifetime of excuses. A comfort built on my silence. The day I walked away wasn't just about a card or money. It was about reclaiming the parts of myself I'd been giving away for years. The patience, the guilt, the endless second chances. Now every morning I walk along the shoreline with a cup of coffee in my hands. I let the sea breeze tangle my hair and the salt air sting my lips, reminding me that peace isn't quiet, it's honest. And honesty, I've learned, sometimes sounds like the word no. I stopped expecting them to change. I stopped trying to rewrite the story. Because some endings aren't tragic, they're necessary. My mother once said, family takes care of each other. She just never said it works both ways. On her birthday, I stood by the water, my phone in hand. I thought about everything. The years I tried to earn love, the apologies I never got, the silence that had finally set me free. Then I typed 2 words. No anger. No bitterness. Just truth. I'm free. And for the first time in my life, I really was.